Okay, today I am going to show you how to repair a Jeanie rub variable speed massager from Core Industries. As you can see, I've already removed the two bolts here. I'll show you when I reassemble it how that went and how to prevent the problem with the handle migrating in regards to this, what I call a motor base. Now, the reason I disassembled this today, and maybe you guys have come across this, is that the cord went bad. And the cord went bad because the cord is designed to carry a lot of amperage. It has very thin, small wires. As we all know, electrons like to travel on the surface of the wires. Therefore, the more surface area, the more amperage, more electrons can flow. Amperage equals flow when it comes to electricity. So, what I've done is I've removed a section of cord. Of course, this is the second time around. The second time around, I removed a good 2 feet. The first time around, I removed about 6 inches, which turned out to not be enough. I was still having an intermittent connection problem. So, I've reattached the cord retainer, and I've let it sit here with my handy-dandy clamp holder for a good half hour while I went and enjoyed some dinner, which is quite late for today. Now I'm going to remove that, and hopefully the cord has taken this nice little shape, which I can then use to reinsert the cable into the handle housing, which is quite difficult, as I found out the first time I did this. The first time was just for fun. Now, I get to show everyone for posterity what an awesome handy guy I am. And, interestingly enough, I found nothing on the internet about how to repair these machines. Because probably the warranty's pretty good, and for $25, you can send this to somebody else to do it. Now what I'm doing is I'm applying a pressure on the rear of the cord by using the handle housing as leverage. And you want to try to work quickly, because if not, the cord will start to return to its natural shape, which is flat. And I think I just screwed up. This is, I swear, the worst part of this repair. It came out. They should not have designed it with this angle. All it's going to do is cause cords to short. Now, I get to try again. Okay, so all the kids are in bed today. So I decided I would make a YouTube video and become world famous for all my handy repairs, which I MacGyver together in my spare time, which is absolutely zero, considering how many children I've fathered, legitimately, and still live with me. I don't consider the other bastards. Dinner apparently was not a long enough time for this to get some memory. Okay, I'll try it like this here. Trying to keep the cables nice and clean, straight, and not make them look like they just woke up with some hooker. Not that I would know what that's like. Okay, here we go. Reinsert it at the proper angle into the hole. That's what she said. And then I lever that over, and if I am strong enough, lucky enough, and just plain macho enough, I will scare this thing into the hole. Oh gosh, what was that? Somebody stepped on a duck. Mother ducker. Okay. Here we go again. Second time's a charm. Okay. this is worth a $25 repair bill. By the way, you can have this replaced at the factory for 25 bucks. I highly recommend you do that. But if for some reason you're in a godforsaken country like Russia and you need to repair your variable speed Jeanie rub and you just don't have the time, okay. Now I've popped in the bottom, now it's just time to pop in the top, and I've found from experience it's best to just go like that. And kind of angle it in on that part. Hear it snap, that's all goodness. Now, okay, here's the deal with the wires. There's two ribbons coming out the switch. It's a variable speed switch, but it doesn't matter which one you connect to which. So, I'm going to try to make the connections. I wanted to show you one thing. This area right here is prone probably to being messed up because of the angle I have it at. Now, what we're going to do, what you want to do in a vibratory situation such as this, is you want to do mechanical connections. You don't want to do solder. You can do solder and mechanical, but that's a bit overkill. You'll find that you really need mechanical. So what I did was I removed these by squeezing on them, and then I opened it back up by putting in a tool that was somewhat smaller and just kind of rotating it into that hole. So I'm going to reuse these just because I'm cheap. And, you know, I got nothing better to do with my time as a father of 6. So why not? Okay, so I'm opening that up. I'm going to be able to reuse that clamp just like I did last time. For one of these, I just kind of made my own out of a similar device. It's basically just a piece of metal and a piece of plastic that you just bend around it. Now, I'm going to twist the wires together and then we'll attach the clamps. These minuscule tiny clamps. You want to stay away, you might have the notion that you can just electrical tape this stuff back together. You can't. So unless you really enjoy doing this, I recommend you make the proper connections. Now, for me, the proper connections are dependent on what I can do to lay out these wires properly. Here's the thing, looking at this housing, you can see that you want the wires to be not in the central area here. They can pretty much be anywhere but that central area. The place where the housing makes contact with this is here, 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 and here. This shield gets placed over here, and that protects this. I don't think there's one for the other side. If there has, trolls took mine, and I no longer know its location, but I will track them. Now, what we want to do is we want to reconnect the wires and then test it, and then see if anything is on fire, and if so, we will extinguish it, hopefully, after we unplug it, because we don't want to piss on hot electricity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to determine the best way to route these wires. As you can see, I've cut this to the same length that the factory did. I tried making it longer, thinking somehow that would help, and that was a bad idea. So keep cutting that to the same length. You want it to look exactly like it did before. You have to leave enough wire that these things can disassemble without breaking, yet not too much that you will quickly run out of room, which I did before. So, I know how to avoid that. Now, this green wire needs to go over here to the grounding area. So I'm going to take, this is the old green wire, and on it had a locking washer. Also there's a lock washer, and it had a nut. And I need to go locate those again. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to show you how to attempt to salvage one of these suckers. First thing you want to do is cut it off at the base. The next thing you want to do is try to dig out those wires. Now, if I hadn't been banned from playing pyrotechnics, I might be tempted to just melt it out. All that plastic in there. But, such as the laws are, I will just attempt. I should have left the stub on there. I could have pulled out the wires. It will. Nothing like failing on camera. There's nothing quite like it, and I'm quite good at it. Okay, so dig out what you can, and also what you can't. You always want to do the things that you can't do, because I found that's the best place to start. After that, the impossible is nothing. Quote my favorite Russian. Impossible is nothing. Now I'm going to use pliers to hold this while I'm messing with it. I've already had to grow back a couple fingers, and that's very painful. Don't want to regrow anymore. Okay. Okay. I'm not having any luck with this at all whatsoever. This thing is clamped down so well. I don't even want to try to do this. It's a waste of my time. Okay, welcome back. So, what I did was, I just took the existing wire and spliced it with an additional piece of metal around the entire thing, and I tested it to make sure it's good. Now, one of the first things that you're going to want to do is attach this beautiful piece of beauty in the proper orientation. Now, hopefully, like me, you've left enough till they can go around this guy. Whenever you're working with wires, you want to minimize the amount that you bend them. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I don't have the locking washer. So, I'm going to make do with some electrical tape that I've located so conveniently. And I'll poke that through so easily to do. Put that in there. Hopefully this will provide enough stickiness and compression that I can then, this thing won't vibrate all out and unground my machine, and then it would be dangerous. And I would have to go to jail again for the first time. Alright, so here we go. It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time. Feels like the first time. Alright, you might be concerned if it's overlapping that area there, but don't be. It doesn't come into contact with this. The full surface area is not being utilized. So, that secure, I can then make my other connections, which are going to be this wire here, see if I can get that to fit back on there.